Hello, everybody. We have a very exciting race tonight. I am Cantaloupe Me, and what we have now is a Zelda II 100% all keys exhibition race to help shout out the tournament that'll be coming up next week. But for today, we have JSR, prawnzo, Cheeseball, xIceblue, and Tiamat's racing as well. I think there's five or six, I think. But yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Tiamat's going to be racing, and we're going to get them in here every now and then.
Yep, so we do have an exciting race to get started, and Rick is going to count down our runners and will be joining on commentary as well. But yeah, this should be pretty cool. 100% all keys. It's a glitchless category, except for one little tiny glitch we'll see. But other than that, it's just get all the things as fast as you can, and you know, kill Shadow Link, Dark Lonk, whatever you want to call him. Yep.
There we go. I think actually, let me work on that little bit once we get things going. All right, yeah, we're trying to do things on the fly.
Yes. Not rehearsing, just we're going to do it live, daggone it. So, yep, our runners will be getting started.
So, how about you detail exactly what this category represents? It's 100% all keys, but what does that mean?
Okay, 100% all keys. It technically means that first requirement is to get every item in the game, all the spells, all the equipment upgrades like the upstab, downstab techniques, if you will, and visiting all and doing all the palaces. All keys means we are not allowed to ferry through doors. You have to get every key that is required. So that's what that means. Like I said, there's a mechanic where you can cast fairy and go through the doors. But in this category, we will not see any of that. So every town will be visited, all spells will be accumulated. There'll be a lot of things to get, and we'll do our best to explain the tech as we go on it.
And you mentioned there is a tournament coming up. It's going to be real soon.
Yes, yes, it starts, I believe, next Friday. There's still some signups available. I can see if I can get that information into the chat sometime during the race.
Cantaloupe, I would love it if you got that information in the chat. The runners are getting in the countdown. We're almost ready to begin. We have the Zelda 100% all keys coming up here in just a moment with an interesting layout. Okay.
Yep. One of the first things they're going to be looking for, they're heading to what we call Magic Cave. There's the way the drops work in this game. Every sixth enemy that you kill, you have a chance for a small P bag or a large P bag, depending on the group. So in this Magic Cave, they're going to try to be doing this a specific way in order to kill the sixth enemy and get a drop. So we're going to see what happens here. So this 50 drop will give them a 75% chance of getting attack 4. So we'll see if anybody is able to get this starting off. So far, everything's looking good. Cheese took an encounter on the way in. Okay, no P-Bag for JSR, no P-Bag for xIceblue. And looks like we have a P-Bag for prawnzo. We'll see if Cheese can... Yep, Cheese got one too, but she got it from the Octorok. So that might throw the experience off a little bit. No, I think she'll be alright because yeah, she's fine. So JSR is taking a backup strat to get the trophy to kill some enemies to help his chances at getting the attack 4 out of Palace 1. If you do not get that P-Bag and you do not do the Dark Trophy Cave, what happens is you only have a 25% chance of getting attack 4 leaving Palace 1, which is a pretty good time save going into Death Mountain, which is where we go after Palace 1. There's a couple routes to start out with. Most of the runners are going to be getting Shield Spell immediately. I think Ice will be getting Late Shield, which there is a time save with that later, but we will get to that after Palace 2. He'll have to come back to the town and get it, but it'll help set up a walk to Palace 3 where there's no encounters. Zelda 2 gets a lot of hate for, being completely different from most Zeldas, but the mechanics in this game, once you actually learn how the combat works, it's actually a very fascinating speedrun. I've been running this for years, and it's definitely one of my favorite Zeldas to run. So there's a heart container south of Palace 1. You're seeing xIceblue approaching that area now. He missed the initial encounter skip. I'll talk about more about those later. But the heart containers, magic containers, spells, all are required for this. And the reason why you see them killing so many enemies, there's an experience point system. Okay, Cheeseball gets a skip, well done. But, go ahead.
I was gonna say, that's not really an easy skip to make. You have to kind of wait for the enemies and be a little patient, but definitely a fun one to pull off, and it does, of course, save you a forced encounter.
Yes, it's the hitboxes on the overworld encounters are bigger than what they appear. So especially the big encounters, those are quite a big pain to deal with. But there's a lot of those skips coming up and around. Like I said, oh no, Cheeseball takes a bubble. Bubbles are the worst enemy.
I was going to point out that prawnzo was about a frame away from taking a bubble himself. He just barely got by it. Now, what's going to happen here with Cheeseball is that bubble dropping him into the pit is going to take him down one life that he's going to want later on.
Yeah, thankfully there is a backup one-up she'll be able to get after coming out of Death Mountain. There's a one-up just south of the exit, so, she'll be able to get back up and be fine. Now, Palace 1, if you noticed, all the caves they've been in have been dark. Well, there is an item in this palace that helps that. It's a candle that lets you see where you're going. Only the 100% get the candle categories. The other categories that are not 100% just ignore it because it takes a little bit of time to get.
And you need to get an extra key for that, too.
Yes, exactly. You have to go out of your way considerably to be able to get the candle. But
yeah,
in this
that's the interesting thing about Palace 1. It's about how it wanted to go all the way around in order to get the keys that you needed for this dungeon, then go back to get that candle.
Yes. It sort of teaches you the mechanic that you have to look around in the palace to get where you're going. I mean, this palace is pretty much one way to get through it. There's no dead ends. But later on, it's easy to get lost in some of the later palaces. So this gives you a little bit of exploration, saying, okay, this is what you have to do in this game. You have to explore. Okay, now, we were talking about drops. They're on every 6th enemy. Now, the large groups have their own drop value, as the small ones do. So, this enemy that you see xIceblue killing up here, I think it's a Doom Rattler or Doom Knocker, I always get them confused, but that's the first big enemy you will kill. Well, no, I'm sorry, there's a Stalfos earlier, but yes, you want to make sure that you kill the enemies a certain way to get the most out of your experience value per enemy. You'll see him skip a couple Stalfos on the way down to the candle and kill him on the way back. So we will see if we do get some drops to get the attack forward leaving this palace. Attack. The way the upgrades work, every value for attack, magic, and life has its own threshold to meet. And they're going to be abusing that later to take several levels at once. But for now, they're just going to take them, try to get to attack 3 if they can, and not take life 2 until later. Their final levels will be 8, 8, 6 if everything goes correctly. Looks like Ice and prawnzo are in the same room, within like a second apart. They're going to get the candle. So now they'll be able to see in all the caves. Those iron knuckles that they're fighting right there, their weak spot is the top of their head, and if you do a standing, a jump and a slash on the way down, you will always hit them. Now, enemies in this game can read your directional pad input, so there's a lot of techniques that we do. One is called neutral jumping. As you're jumping, you're not pushing a direction on the D-pad. So what that will do, that will make the enemy come towards you. If you're hitting a direction, the enemy will move away from you. So we manipulate some of the Iron Knuckles like that and several other enemies, so we're able to either jump over them or keep hitting them without them backing up. Okay, first chance for the drop. Okay, prawnzo did get his P bag, so prawnzo will be at attack 4. xIceblue did not. Okay, next chance for the drop is Cheese. We'll see if she's able to get it. Cheese gets her P bag. She will be to attack 4. Next one up for it is JSR gets it. He'll be at attack 4. Come on, and xIceblue, come on, get your drop here, Ice. Come on. Everybody will be at attack 4. That's incredible, folks. So, even playing field, leaving Palace 1. Everybody got the drops. That's amazing. And with 4 people on the screen, everybody getting the 75% drop. Yep, and the other drop came from Cheese, and she didn't even need it. So this is Horsehead. Pretty easy boss, just walks back and forth, swings a mace. The hitbox is slightly above his head. So you don't want to aim for his head, you want to aim a little bit above his head, and you will hit him every time. There isn't much more. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm back. We've been trying to deal with a few technical things in the background, but it's really good to see that these runners are able to get to the attack 4s. That is very important. It's good to have that because where we're going next, you want to have that attack as high as possible.
Yes, the game intends for you to do Palace 2 before you go to Death Mountain. But obviously it's way too slow, so we're going to Death Mountain immediately once we get there. And going through Death Mountain at attack 4 is not the easiest thing in the world, but there's not much RNG in the room, so once you learn where the enemies are, you can deal with them quite well. Now, the trophy spells that were gathered earlier by the other runners, they'll skip that because they need trophy to get jump, but the ones who did not get it, they're going to grab it now and take it to... we name all the towns after the spell. I mean, they all have appropriate names, which are actually the names of the sages in Ocarina of Time. But for this case, we're just going to say they're in Jump Town.
I wonder why they call it Jump Town. It's not like you're supposed to learn a spell that you need to head south and use, otherwise you can't get above that big jump. Oh wait, I just said it.
Yes, you totally did. There is an actual way to get up there without jump, but it requires some totally pixel-perfect shenanigans and manipulating a bat to go all the way over and do a damage boost, which is considerably slow. But there is a task that does it, and it's pretty nifty that they don't get the jump spell, but the minimum required spells to beat the game without any glitches are Jump, Reflect, and Fairy, and Thunder. Okay, now this is Jump Cave, because that thing that Rick mentioned, the wall, you have to use Jump at the end of it, so we have called this cave Jump Cave. 2 rooms with gorillas, and then they look, in Zelda 1 they're called keys, but in this game they're called aches, if I'm not mistaken. So they're bats.
When they run into you, if they make you ache.
Yes, they do. Boo! But no, that's fine. But yep, here's...
Are you booing me?
No, I would never boo you, Rick.
Fine, I'll go back into the background and work on more tech stuff.
I love you, Rick.
While these runners show off their techs.
Yep. So now we're going to go visit Bagoo. I mean, not Bagoo, but yeah, Bagoo. No, it's... Yeah, you know Bagoo.
Yeah, you need to know Bagoo in order to cross.
Yeah, now here's an interesting theory that you would appreciate too, Rick. Bagoo, we have determined, at least on my stream, that he is the Mafia boss of Hyrule. You know Bagoo, you can continue. But we think Bagoo makes another appearance in Link to the Past as the hobo under the bridge.
What happened to his house?
A lot happened over the years. You know, I mean, the Mafia does have probably had the downfall in Hyrule, so he's living in hiding because he joined the Witness Protection Program. So yeah, but Bagu will let you cross the river.
But I thought that was a link to the past.
Zelda timeline does not matter. We will ignore that.
We're not here to talk about a Zelda timeline. The only times we want to talk about are the 1230s we see on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, yep, they're getting the life spell. To get it, you have to go into this little room, and there's a mirror under the table, which has the only text box that Link actually talks. He says, "I found a mirror." So he takes it back, and, to be able to get this life spell. So yeah, we skip the only text box of Link's dialogue.
You know, this is a serious issue that I have with this, Cantaloupe.
Okay.
We get the mirror to get the life spell. Okay. Why isn't it the reflect spell that we get the mirror from?
That's a good question. You would think reflect would come from the mirror, but no, it comes from totally something unrelated to reflect.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about this, Death Mountain, because these runners, they will make this look easy. If you're playing this for the first time and you try to go through this Death Mountain, it's the reason why they call it Death Mountain.
Yes, it's Death Mountain, it made its first appearance in Zelda 1, as we know, for the endgame. Now, what's actually, they made a little, there's a little map area down below on the overworld that looks like Zelda 1's layout, sort of. If you look at a map of Zelda 2, you can, and you know the map of Zelda 1, you can picture what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's one path to take, and it's so easy to make a wrong turn in here. So they're going to be making sure they kill these enemies to get their levels, while making sure they're not getting hit and going the correct directions. So there's a lot going on up here in Death Mountain.
And we're about ready to meet up with an enemy that can really make life a whole lot of hell for you.
Yes.
There it is.
Yep, this is Adira. Thankfully, at attack 4, they take 3 hits. At attack 3, they take 5 hits. So
And this is why you want to be attack 4 out of Palace 1.
Because there's the orange Dairas, and then there's the red Dairas who throw axes. And they take more hits. So imagine being under-leveled and dealing with them.
xIceblue wisely has opted to go with a little bit of health and gets hit with 1 axe, which would have killed xIceblue should they have ended up not getting life. So there you go.
Yeah, taking life 2 in Death Mountain's pretty much a standard practice for the level routing. So you'll see a lot of runners do that, but JSR is opting not to do that. He's going straight for attack 5, so he won't be able to take another life upgrade for quite some time.
Yeah, because that next bar right now is at 2,000. That's the only time the game will give you a chance to choose a new level.
Yeah, they changed that from the original version of Zelda 2, which was released on the Famicom Disk System. In that version, you could pick whichever one you wanted to level up. But in this game, they make you, once you get to the max acquired, you have to take a level, and you can't. But you can pass them up early, unlike the original version. So they made the level up system a little tougher in the North American release.
Ooh, a couple of axes right there, but gets through it. xIceblue, the first one into the Hammer Cave.
Yes, the whole purpose of going into Death Mountain, as Rick said, is to get the hammer. The hammer will let us break some blocks, and also it acts as an axe as well. It can break trees. We don't know how that works. Presumably there is a axe blade on the back end of the hammer. That's the lore behind it.
It's like the Megatron hammer in Ocarina of Time. It's so powerful that it does things that you can't believe. Like that.
Okay, so going into the room with the hammer, JSR and xIceblue are going in about the same time.
Yeah, JSR has caught up a pretty decent amount of time. Prawnzo not too far behind at this point. As we go ahead and see that perfect kill for xIceblue, good kill from JSR. And I do notice that Prawnzo paused before he went off that one screen. Why is that?
Well, okay, that red die rail on the edge of the screen, you kill the die rail on the edge of the screen. You don't want to exit the screen until the experience point value for the enemy vanishes, because if he were to go off that screen too early and go back onto the screen like they are now, that die rail would respawn right in your face and throw a bunch of axes, and it's not a good time.
And in addition to that, you don't get the 100 points.
Yes. And it also advances your kill counter up for your drops later on and throws it off. So, yep. Now, Cheese's leveling is a little bit different here. She's opting to take, and prawnzo did the same thing. They took their Magic 2 and Life 3 in here. Now, that's going to delay getting Attack 5 a little sooner, but it's definitely a safe race strat.
Everyone threw the hammer.
Yes.
Cheeseball now just to kind of get out of here, and here's that area of the map that you were talking about that is an homage to Zelda 1.
Yep, you got your graveyard, and this just sort of shows the Death Mountain where you're at is above Zelda 1, so therefore this game takes place above Zelda 1, above Death Mountain.
By the way, just taking a look over at Tiamat, who is also doing this right at this point, is in the Hammer Cave as we speak, making his way through here. We'll get them on the screen at a later point in here, probably once we get to the other side of Hyrule.
Cool. Okay, now the screen that JSR and Ice is about to leave here, if you walk down, which we'll probably see one of the runners out of the 4 will go get the safety 1-up down here, especially Cheese since she took a death. But there is a 1-up right down there on the graveyard area.
Yeah, that is just south of where xIceblue came off that bridge. Did not have to go for it. Same thing with JSR. Held off after the enemies had spawned. Now we try to dash all the way to the Life Cave.
Yes, taking the encounter right after the boulder and then walking this specific path that you see JSR and xIceblue walking it, it's a technique we call boulder dash, and it gets you into that cave without taking an encounter. It works about 99% of the time.
And both of them through there safely. Cheeseball through Death Mountain. We do see prawnzo opting to go for that 1-up.
In this cave that they're in, this will be the Medicine of Life cave, where they have to take this to the town to get the fairy spell in a bit. So they just come here first since they already know they need it.
Now, in 100% all keys, for those of you who have followed Zelda 2, you know you can ferry your way through the doors. That's not necessarily allowed here in this category.
Yes. Yep, not at all. The only time you could use fairy near a door, you can use it. You can still cast it if you have the key. You won't go through the door, but it will still open it. But that's the only time it's, you'll use fairy, and people will use fairy to pick up the items because there's no animation of Link holding it over his head whenever you pick it up with the fairy. So we'll be seeing that too.
Yeah, that animation like what you just saw from xIceblue when he held up the Link doll. Those fairies, by the way, they are kind of rude. You don't want to see fairies. Like most people who play this game casually like to see those fairies as far as those enemy spawns are concerned, but when you're playing this at the level these runners are, you don't want to see the fairies on the screen.
No. They got the worst RNG movement out of any enemy pattern. And like I said, we'll talk more about the dodging encounters as we get to Eastern Hyrule, where it's a little more important. The way the enemies work, though, on the Overworld map, there's a step counter that will spawn, and there's a global timer that will spawn a second set. So you'll see his first set spawn from steps, and then the second set will spawn from a timer. And depending on if you're on a forest tile or desert tile is how close in proximity the enemy spawns to you.
And everyone is through Death Mountain as we see most of our runners starting to make their way over to the town of Syria.
Yes. Good old Syria. They get two things in here. They get the down stab, which JSR just got. If you jump, push down, you can stab. A very broken mechanic that we will see abused repeatedly. And then they also get the fairy spell, which JSR and xIceblue is getting at this moment. And from here, there is another heart container they'll get before they head to Palace 2.
All of this is routed in a specific way, too.
Yes, there's not much, you know, if you're not doing glitches, there's really not a way to sequence break this game that much. You pretty much have to do it as intended. So yeah, it's a pretty specific route. It's like a couple of the glitch categories, you can beat this game in under 20 minutes. In this one, nope, no glitchies allowed. They're having to do all the things. There's this cave right here. Now, for the ones that did not get shield, they will get shield after Palace 2. They don't want to forget it because that's not getting 100%.
Yeah, when we say 100%, we mean every spell, including the ones that you are not going to be using, like certain ones that will be coming up shortly when we get to the other side of the world, I know. Shoutouts to the Greenleaf Effect that has a little bit of a rant about a specific spell that we're going to be talking about later on.
Yes. I hear if you say his name too many times, he'll pop up, so... So yeah.
I'll take my chances.
Yep, so heart container get, all good. Now, the swamp walk to Palace 2, there's a couple different ways to walk through and dodge these encounters, but if you get fairy spawn on the screen like JSR did, you're going to have to heavily improvise. And JSR is trying to walk back and get a different set, but he got trolled. Now, Ice is having a good walk. Encounters can literally cost you minutes in this run. Each encounter, you're looking between 6 and 8 seconds. So you want to get as few of those in the run as possible.
Like, for instance, right there what JSR had to put up with, there was very little chance he was actually going to get away without an encounter there. There was just so much on the screen.
Yeah, but at that point, you just take it. You know, it's better than trying to dodge a bunch and lose more time that way. Palace 2, it's a longer palace, especially having to get all the keys, because you have to go down like 3 hallways throughout the palace to get a couple keys, and there's a lot of extra rooms. So that's what you're going to be seeing here. We collect 2 keys before we even head towards the correct direction, and they're out of the way. But it's the way the cookie crumbles in this category.
It's really the way this game works, is that they put the keys in very obnoxious locations.
Yeah, they could have been a little friendlier when they placed these keys, but, you know, it's just... Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth for them.
There is a lot of keys in this game. Like, for instance, Dungeon 1, we already saw this. Palace 2 here, the same. I think there's a couple that are out of the way in Palace 3 and Palace 4. Palace 5 has the annoying mechanic that we'll get to a little bit later on.
Yes, and that one definitely has a lot of keys. And thankfully Palace 6 has 0 keys, but that's not a problem because there's an item called the Magical Key that you cannot get until after you get the boots out of Palace 5.
Well, technically Palace 6 has 3 keys, but we'll show those later on.
Oh yeah, I get you.
Thank you. I'm glad you get to me. How are these runners doing level-wise? We saw JSR just take attack 5.
Yes, when they, at this point, they want to, before they get to the boss, they want to be at 5, 2, 3. So JSR is exactly where he needs to be. He can skip a lot of enemy. In fact, he can skip every enemy up to the boss because the boss gives 200 XP. So he's looking great on that. Prawnzo's about to get to attack 5, and life 2 and 3 has already been gotten, so Prawnzo will be fine. Cheese's numbers are good, and Ice's numbers are good. So yeah, everybody's should be on... Whoa, that was close, JSR. That bot almost sent you swimming.
And that is a very rude screen right there. The bots really just, they know when you're trying to break this game or play this game. They are out for blood.
Yeah, they're the worst enemy in Zelda 2. In fact, they have taken more lives from Zelda 2 runners than the final bosses.
Just ask Rep.
Yep. Yeah. Casting Fairy is a good safe strat because you get a magic refill right after you leave the room too. There's a statue that has a hidden bottle. So you'll see a lot of runners cast Fairy to get through there.
Yeah, Prawnzo did. We just saw Cheeseball.
And looks like so far they got through the room with no concussion protocol from the falling blocks. So now this is another item that we're going to be getting in this run, is the glove.
And this is exactly the mechanic you just noticed here from xIceblue, why you cast Fairy before you grab an item. No fanfare, you're just continuing to move.
Yes, and nice moonwalk on the red iron knuckle there. The Fairy can make a moonwalk, and it's oh, sorry, Ice, you're under concussion protocol. And so are you, Prawnzo.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
nice move there from Cheeseball, realizing that if she did not move then, she was in a lot of trouble.
Yes, the blocks can actually stop you, and you will have to go off the screen to get back on it unless you cast a quick fairy. There is several block patterns that will just prevent you from progressing. We have one pattern that looks like a hand gesture, and we have dubbed it a thing because of that.
By the way, everyone now on 5-2-3.
Yes, perfect leveling. They want the boss gives 200 XP, and they want to make sure they go above the 300 XP after they kill the boss. So they'll skip the level there, and then you'll see at the crystal, it'll go up to attack 6. This is like the abuse of the leveling that we see. That's why we're able to get to attack 6 so quickly in this game. Yeah, now jumping over those red iron knuckles that you saw Prawnzo was trying to do, you have to release off the direction button and hold down while you're moving over him, or else you won't be able to do it. It's actually a pretty tight jump.
That explains why I tried doing it and it kept failing.
Yep. Yeah, you can't hold down until you're already above them in the air.
So for those of you who heard about that tournament earlier in this showcase that we're doing here, and are looking for ways of getting better with Zelda 2, aren't there resources that people can turn to?
Yes, there's a Zelda 2 Discord, and then there's also on speedrun.com, we have some forums there with some tutorials, save states, and everything to try to, help you. And also, everybody in the community is very helpful to, answer any questions. We have a lot of longtime veterans in that Discord that like to help out. Enchantress of Numbers, another well-known Z2 runner, is always there to answer questions. Simple Dude Rep. I mean,
hey,
yes.
I just want to point out, look at the sync we have between JSR and xIceblue.
Yeah, they were both fighting Howie Mandel. I mean, Hamlet Head at the same time.
Really good fights for both of them. xIceblue just slightly ahead. Anyways, let's get back to what you were talking about with the resources.
Yeah, the Discord is the best place to go, really. Everybody there is really open and friendly to helping everybody out to get better at this game. Because in speedrunning as a whole, as we know, yeah, we like to have fast times, but the camaraderie between all the runners is what makes it such a great community, because we're there to beat the game as a whole, not to beat people holding records. It's taking the game to the next limit. So, to me, that's what speedrunning is all about. So yeah, the Zelda 2 community is amazing.
Good fight there for Cheeseball, also good fight for Prawnzo, everyone through level 2. Now, this is where JSR will have a lead over xIceblue, because xIceblue has to go back and get that shield, as you mentioned.
Yes. Yeah, this will be the time difference of that, the late shield grab. So, but if Ice does this right leaving the town, he should take 0 encounters going to where JSR is now. It does save time, I think it's like 5 seconds over doing it the other way if you don't get a single encounter. So it's not much of a time save. It's probably something I would say for like world record attempts, but in a race attempt, I probably would not be doing it.
Prawnzo getting hit with another encounter on the way out of the swamp, and looks like Cheeseball only had one encounter in the swamp proper.
Yep.
Oh, did not get to the golden square. Golden squares are where you want to be.
Yes. Yeah, now we'll see how this walk goes for xIceblue here. There will be an encounter he tries to dodge here. He did not get it, so doing the late shield is a time loss right now.
So JSR, first one into Palace number 3. We get an item over here that helps us sail.
Yes, it's a bunch of hot dogs tied together. Oh, it's a raft, but it looks like a bunch of hot dogs tied together. Yeah, but all the palaces have different color schemes, if you notice. So, Palace 3, I believe, is a red color, so...
Now, that's not true in the Famicom. There's a couple of dungeons that look the same, aren't there?
Yes, in the Famicom Disk System version, Palaces 1, 2, and 5 are white, and Palace 3 is a different color. I'm not sure of what the color actually is, because I do suffer from partial color blindness, so I don't know what the proper color is. And then Palace 6 is a different color as well. Now, they're going out of their way for a couple keys here in Palace 3. Now they're outside. JSR is outside the palace, but thankfully there's an Iron Knuckle here to say, hey, I'm guarding a key, so he's going to yoink that one. Coming up, though, is probably the hardest room in Palace 3. There's lava and there's bots. So that's a very bad combo in Zelda 2.
Isn't that usually what causes bad rooms in Zelda 2 in any dungeon?
Yes, it does.
But yeah, this here, as you can see, they like to jump towards you, and they don't care if you're at PB pace or if you're far behind. They just know how to crank up the salt factory.
Ooh, JSR is like a pixel away from getting knocked back and being wrecked, but he improvised really well on that. Now, this is let's see if we see a jackhammer.
There we go. Took a couple of attempts to get to that, but he did pull that off pretty well. So, leveling right here, we see 633 and 623. Where do we want to be in this Palace 3?
By the time we get to the boss, we want to be at 633. We're only taking one magic level in here. You can take that life 4 if you wanted to, but it requires you to kill more things.
Which, killing more things winds up costing you time.
Yes. So, that's, now, see if they go for the never jars, Yep, he goes for it. That's never a jar, even though it has a 50-50 chance. It seems to never be a jar. That's why we call it the never jar, even though I've seen it happen, but usually it's going to give you an Iron Knuckle. Uh-oh. Oh.
xIceblue taking a swim, and that's unfortunate.
Yep, nobody wants to take a dip in marinara this early in the game.
Nice jackhammer, by the way, for Cheeseball.
Yeah, the way
that bot tried again.
Yes. The way the jackhammer works is you hold down for the down stab, then once you're inside the hitbox, you just mash down repeatedly and you'll hit every frame. She's being very, very cautious on that bot, and she was able to cast jump, so that will help.
Alright, Prawnzo here takes care of one of the bots. There we go. We're safely through there. Now xIceblue needs to get through this room. Cast the spell as well. There's the Never Jar.
Yep.
I don't think Prawnzo even tried.
Nope. Let's see if Ice goes for it. Oh!
The Never Jar pays off.
Yeah, it was a jar this time. Okay, now the boss that we're seeing here is Rebanak. There's a couple ways. He's also a unique enemy. He gives 301 experience. Not 300, 301. See, JSR has 1,008. And watch it go up to 1,309.
Which is weird considering the fact that it only says 300 as it pops up, but it is what it is. There it is. Palace 3 done for JSR.
Yes, a really good way to do it. I mean, good safe fight on Rebo. There's a more aggressive fight, but you don't want to do that in a race. Just take the safe kill.
By the way, if you love that room that xIceblue was just in just a moment ago, get ready. We're going to see that room a few more times in level 4.
Oh,
Palace
yes.
4, that is.
Okay, so now we're about to head over to Eastern Hyrule, where we are going to spend the next portion of the game. There's 2 palaces, and also 2 towns that we're going to need things from. And also a magic container and a heart container. Now let's see how prawnzo does on good old Rebo.
I do want to point out, it was at one point in time a routing decision to go to get this town taken care of first, but I've seen other runners who just opt to skip it until later.
Yeah, there's another encounter walk you can do after Palace 5 that involves going into town, but it's not the easiest thing. But this town, shoutouts to TGE, the Greenleaf Effect, this has an NPC who needs some water. However, the water is approximately maybe a quarter furlong away from her, and she will not walk to go get it. We don't know why she's so lazy. All she has to do is walk over there, but no, she makes you go get it. I honestly believe she has a GPS monitoring thing on her ankle, and she's not allowed to leave her property.
A quarter of a furlong is a 32nd of a mile. That is quite the, I don't want to walk anywhere. You get me my water.
Yes. Exactly. Nobody uses furlongs anymore for distance tag on it, so we're going to reference it.
Unless you're talking horse races.
Exactly.
Tiamat, by the way, is in level 3 still.
Okay. Good deal. I was just getting ready to ask where Tiamat was. So, yep, fire has been acquired. Now, as you see, prawnzo is doing late fire. Now, they have to rescue a kid up here that will help him get the reflex bell. Now, encounter skips. Here we go. This is where the area for encounter skips is pretty valuable.
Look at this movement here from prawnzo. Can he get to the bridge? It looks like he will be, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, he's got to walk that screen 2 more times. So,
yep.
the first time's pretty free, but the other times are not.
JSR just barely missing. Oh, can he get to the bridge? Oh, no. Botted.
Yep, so there's a kid here that you have to pick up as a fairy, or whatever, but it's easier to pick up as a fairy. You don't get hit by the Listalfos there. Fun fact, in the Famicom Disk System version, you have to stab to pick up items. You can't fly into them as a fairy or walk over them, so you have to stab the kid and take him back. And the kid's fine, just a little shish kebab. I mean, the kid's cool. Now, this walk that you're about to see prawnzo done is the Dazzle after speedrunner by Dazzle. It's you wait here and you're walking a very specific path. He'll go up here, up again. Now, let's see if he gets another encounter. Nope, he's
almost there.
He's got it.
That is a solid walk. Beautiful work right there from prawnzo.
Now there's... Okay, now we're going to see...
xIceblue and JSR now trying to pull this Dazzle off as well.
Nice, got it.
And right now, xIceblue's got it. JSR...
Got it.
He's got it as well.
Okay, now you're seeing them wait to take an encounter. There's 2 encounter tiles. I think JSR did not get the first one. No, he did not. But if you take an Overworld encounter on a forced tile like the screen JSR is going through right now, it skips it. So there's several times from here on in we're going to be doing that.
Alright, so this town is another one where we get 2 things.
Yes, first we get to become an upstabbing citizen. So, we have to get upstabbed. So, I'll explain the fairy trick to go down the chimney, because normally you cannot do that, but I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, you go down here to get the upstab, which is not required to beat the game, but required for this category. Now, what Jason's going to do, he's going to duck down, cast fairy, which keeps your hitbox crouched, and that lets you go down the chimney. If you don't duck before you cast fairy, you cannot go down that chimney.
By the way, Cheeseball trying to make the walk fairy. No.
Yeah, so this is going to make getting this first encounter skip a little more difficult. But very well.
I think she's got it, yeah.
Yep, very veteran of this game, so she knew exactly what to do there. Now, you'll see her take 3 stabs before moving to the next screen. They do that on these encounters because it sets up a little manipulation to make sure the next overworld encounter spawns directly in front of you. It works about 99% of the time, but then you get screwed that 1% when you're on PB pace. So this is a Reflex build. The kid that they brought back was brought back to this town. You need Reflect to beat 1 boss. It helps on other bosses too, but it's literally required for the next boss.
And it's kind of rude the fact that they put that palace that this is for right where you get that kid, and you know, if you don't end up getting it, hi. Guess what?
Yep, you're not beating this boss.
And you now have to take the nice little walk back out of this dungeon or wait until a game over.
Yep. And speaking of game overs, in this category, for a race it's allowed, but for actual speedrun attempts it is a 1 credit completion category, so there are no game overs, and we don't want to see that from any of the runners, but if it happens, we can still continue as such to finish the game.
By the way, Tiamat ended up taking 2 encounters during the Dazzle Walk.
Oh no, bad spawns. Now let's see how Ice does here. Nope. Prawnzo got through pretty good. I think he only took 1. Oh, JSR slinked that one nice. What are you doing, JSR? Come on. Oh,
nice running back-esque moves, though, but unfortunately gets hit on this one.
Yeah, that's where the step counter comes into play. If you know how many steps you are to the next encounter. Now, 1 encounter is not bad in that area.
By the way, we are getting a magic container here in this lovely little walk around this maze.
And the fastest route through the maze is the longest way, because if you try to take the shortest way, you will hit 3 encounter screens that you have to go through, but doing it the long way around, you only hit 1. So it's definitely faster in this category to do that.
Yeah, especially considering how annoying some of these encounter squares are. Welcome to Palace number 4.
Yes, the 4th palace that we're doing. Now, the best way to think how this palace works is to do the right side, then do the left side. So, right side first and left side to finish. They have to get an item in here. Now, all these 1-ups, you've seen them collect throughout the run. I just hope they don't take no accidental lava baths, you know? That would be unfortunate in here.
Yeah, accidental lava baths. But we do hope they take a few purposeful lava baths, too, inside of this dungeon.
Yep, and then we always, as a tradition, we judge them on their ability to dive in the lava.
Which means I want to see some numbers when we get to the first set of dives.
Yep, so Prawnzo will be up here first. We'll see if he opts to take this first lava bath here. It gives you more magic and saves you time for walking back through the room. Let's see if we get one.
And he doesn't, and he takes the dive by assistance. How would you grade that? Well, let's wait for the judges here in chat. I see a 7. I'm not going to read those 2 other numbers out. I think they're trying to cater to the crowd here. 8s and 9s. What do you think, Cantaloupe?
I'm going to go with 7.5. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go 7.5. I'll go with the half point. But we'll see if there's some improving on the second dive from Prawnzo. But xIceblue opted not to take it. Probably because of the death he took in Palace 3.
He also has a full magic meter, too, so I think that may have been a consideration. That was a nice kill right there for Prawnzo.
Now, the boots, they're made for walking. Oh, there we go. JSR spawns and takes the back. That's a 9. But,
I actually missed it, but I'll take your word for it.
Yep. There was a stab on... He spawned the Iron Knuckle, stabbed off the back wall, and then fell in. So, yes, that's a 9.
xIceblue through with the Iron Knuckle. Didn't get quite as sweet as a kill as Prawnzo ended up getting, but still threw it. Does want to keep an eye on the health, because we definitely don't want to take any accidental deaths, as you mentioned before, even if they're not lava bats.
Okay, that's a 1. You did
Yeah,
nothing,
that one's
Prawnzo.
pretty bad. I want to see what the judges say about that prawnzo death. You're generous. Cheeseball has opted not to take the lava bath, even though didn't get the red jar.
Now, she'll be all right in this scenario with it, but she'll probably take Magic 4 in here. Some runners, I mean, will do that instead of Life. But anyway, with shoot, I forgot where I was going with that one. But yeah, they'll
JSR coming up over here, and we're just gonna jump our way over.
Yep. The room that you see Prawnzo in is what we call the Minecraft room because we have to dig down to get the keys. There's 3 of those. We saw one in Palace 3. We'll see 2 more in this palace.
Yeah, these are annoying because of these heads that like to be in very good places that you don't want them to be.
Now, those Wizrobes you see spawning, there's only one way to kill them, and that's to cast Reflect, which will come into play later, but for right now, that's, we're just going to ignore them for the most part. They're definitely a pushover as compared to Zelda 1 Wizrobes.
And just as a reminder, we do see Prawnzo in the lead, but he did not get the fire spell just yet. We'll opt to get that after Palace 5, so providing any changes, Prawnzo will be in the lead as we move through the next 2 dungeons.
Yep, definitely on that, and we'll see exactly where they are after that. But, yeah, everybody is playing pretty solid right now. I mean, other than a couple unfortunate deaths from a couple runners, everything else is going pretty well for them.
Like, for instance, all 5 of these runners that are involved in this, Tiamat's also inside of this Palace 4 as well. And I will tell you that Tiamat did not opt to do that first lava bath because they did get a red jar to spawn.
Yeah, the death abuse is if you take all 3 of them, it saves about 12 seconds. Over not doing them, so, now, JSR will definitely do one on the final one. In fact, I think all runners should take this final one because it gives them full magic, so we'll see what Prawnzo does here. Nope. He gets the jar, and...
carries on.
Yeah, he's got enough for Reflect, just barely, so he should be alright. But JSR should definitely take the death, because he's only got 1 HP left where he dies, so I'm pretty sure JSR will take the death abuse. We'll see if xIceblue takes the last lava dive. Nope.
Nope, he's opting to stick around with her as well. Pretty solid running for all 4 of these runners so far. We would love to give some grades out for more lava dives. So let's see how JSR goes about this, and no, he's not doing it either.
Nope, yeah, you can't grade him on a lava dive if they don't do it. I mean, so he didn't want
0.
that delicious... Yeah, he didn't want that delicious marinara sauce down there.
Well, can you blame him?
Oh no, I'd go for that marinara every time. I mean, I'd never say no to food.
Well, yeah, Anyways, here we are with the boss that we need to reflect.
Yep, and the strat is literally right corner, hold down, and pray. That's it.
Yeah, and hope your shots actually connect. There we go. Good finish.
That's not a bad fight. You can get him in 8 perfect reflect shots, but it's very rare. Most of the time, you're going to miss 3 or 4. But I have seen that fight literally take over a minute from start to finish before, just because of bad luck.
And xIceblue here with this fight as well.
Cheeseball takes an unfortunate death. No, that was a lava bath, I think. Yeah, it was.
Yep.
She did. I missed the dive, though. I was watching the
Missed
fight.
the dive, too. Chat will give us a answer on how that dive was.
Now, in Palace 5, one thing I want to bring up real quick, there is a damage boost strat. It is called Eco Key. It saves a backtrack. They have to take a damage boost instead of casting Fairy. It's a very difficult trick to do as they take attack 8. So Prawnzo will be the first to see if he goes for Eco Key. You can lose a lot of time if you miss it and not get your level up, so it's a very risky trick, but we'll see what we got here.
Alright, here we go. This is the room right here.
Nope.
He's going safe.
Yep, so he'll have to backtrack and get that key. We'll see if Ice will go for it. Ice will be up next. This is something, if I in this tournament, if I'm racing somebody and I'm watching the restreams, it's not rando, you can do that. If I'm ahead, I am not taking that chance on Eco Key.
I can understand that. Because the penalty can be so hard.
Yep. Oh, Ice is going for it. Did not get it. No, he jumped a little bit early, it looked like.
All right, JSR now over here on the top left. Looks like he's setting it up, and no!
Late. So, to get their magic filled back up, they're either going to have to kill an extra enemy, or to get the magic 4, or they're going to have to take a death in here, because you need the jump spell to get another key 2 rooms away from here. This key that you see prawnzo going for, as you see, it's pretty random. That's pretty clean. Oh, well, it was clean. Commentary curse.
Yeah, it was clean until he took that concussion.
Yep, and now he is known as Lunk.
And this is a guaranteed jar right here, so you're going to go ahead and fill up everything. Looks like xIceblue trying to wait things out. There's the magic 4.
Cheese will probably just go for fairy.
Yep, as we move through this room. Yep, there's the casting of the fairy. No eco keys.
Oh! You can upstab that from there. Okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, xIceblue almost had that instantly, but he got rejected. That was a rough one.
And now JSR grabbing the magic jar. So too is xIceblue. They're on the same screen together. prawnzo making his way towards this blue iron knuckle that's guarding a wall. Oh yeah, you can jump through it.
Yep, that is not a pixel-perfect ledge to clip through the wall. There's an NPC in one of the towns that tells you there's a hidden wall, it's an invisible wall you can walk through. So the NPCs are actually very helpful in this game to help get you through it.
I am error.
Yes.
Which actually is very helpful once you ask or talk to it at the right time.
Yeah, because Error, the first time you talk to him, he just says, I am Error. Well, second time you talk to him, he tells you about walking south of King's Tomb
Yeah, you get to that drop-down that takes you to Palace 3.
Yep, and that doesn't work until, I think after you do Death Mountain, he'll tell you that. Okay, so the item that we got in there, it looks like a plunger, but it's a flute. It's used for 2 things. And we will see one of the uses after Palace 5. So having everybody in Palace 5 here is actually pretty cool. Everybody's been, like I said, it's been running really well. It's hard to tell the lead now, but we'll know after after they take care of the River Devil with the plunger, we'll know who's in the lead.
Yeah, because the big thing is, once again, prawnzo has not gotten the fire. Still has to go into the town to get that.
Yes. Now we'll see if we get a swag key grab from prawnzo here. You grab the key without touching the floor. Nope, no swag. A lot of people will get that key first before getting the plunger. There's no wrong way to do it. It works out the same. I missed Cheese's grab on that. Oh man, those Moggos, those are those enemies that spawn in and out. They're pretty erratic, and they can just totally murder you without you even noticing.
Especially considering the fact that you're in here at Life 4 when you're normally supposed to go through here probably, what, closer to Life 6 or 7?
Yeah, the game would expect you to be at a way more on your defense, because the game actually expects you to grind and kill enemies to level up. But one thing you'll see them doing is they're once they get to 844, they're going to skip all the other levels. So when they get to the boss and defeat the boss, they will get enough points to get the maximum attack you can get, which is 8. They already have that. If they were to take attack 8, it'd just be a 1-up. Well, they're going to distribute that between life and magic, and you'll see them go up 4 levels on those two, 2 on each.
Yeah, with the hopes that they don't actually take attack 9.
Yeah, taking attack 9 is bad. You get made fun of for that. Trust me, I know.
How do you know?
Oh, I may have done it in a race before.
What kind of things do they say to you?
Not appropriate for TV, sir.
Well, we're not on TV. We're on Twitch.tv.
Yeah, but nah, nobody really makes fun of you. Everybody just laughs about it because it happens to everybody. I mean, you're going to take it. Once you start learning this game, you will take attack 9 at least once. Now, this boss we're going to see prawnzo coming up to first is Goomba.
I was about ready to prompt you on this one because this one here, you could see a lot of technical stuff with these runners. High-skilled runners will make Goomba look like a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers. How quickly they can kill it.
It's a way to get in. His hitbox is only his midsection. And there's a way to do the jackhammer attack and get inside, but he pushes you out. So it only takes 8 hits. But I'm not sure if we're going to see some of these runners go for it, because Goomba hits like a truck. Even with shield at life 4, a few hits and you're dead.
Looked like prawnzo was setting up for it. Yeah, that was a solid fight still.
Yep, he got in there, had enough for a life cast, caused 4 hits and you were dead. No, 3 hits. So prawnzo will get this. Now, next one to fight Goomba looks like it's going to be Ice and JSR close to the same time.
Yep. Take a look at your bottom right, top left. As prawnzo goes and gets a heart container.
See how Ice does on Goomba. Ice went for it, but did not get in there.
Yeah, he's got to be a little extra careful because he doesn't really have anything, but he gets through it. Loses a little time to JSR, but both runners through this. Now, this is where you want to be careful when you end up doing some of your leveling, because you can actually cause a little bit of an issue if you try to do a little bit of leveling up on a particular spot of a screen.
Yes, if you're... Now, before I get to that, you notice prawnzo's taking the level ups inside the town. The fanfare is actually a lot quicker if you take the level ups inside of a town. So that's part of the new route. So he saves time on that. But anyway, as Rick was mentioning, if you go off, do a screen transition on the same frame you level up, your game is done. It is a hard lock. The game doesn't know what to do, and you cannot continue. So that you have to be very careful when walking off the screen and leveling up.
All right, so prawnzo now claiming that fire, as we now do see JSR is in the lead.
Yep, and he gets the initial skip. So there's 3 forced encounters. Oh, Cheese tried. Almost had it, but there's 3 skips, 3 forced encounter tiles in this section. The first one is skippable with taking an encounter on it, which JSR is able to do. prawnzo is going to be trying to set that up shortly.
Yep, we have the Wilson walls here.
Yep. And for those who don't get the Wilson reference, if they were born after 1998, they probably wouldn't get it. But Home Improvement had a character, Wilson, and he would always look over a fence to talk, and you can never see his face. So that's why we call this the Wilson fence. And if you think that reference is outdated, I got another one for you later on in this run.
Oh boy, I can't wait. All right, prawnzo getting ready to try to set this up, and unfortunately that's a bad enemy placement right there.
Yeah, but he gets the backup.
Yep, he's got the second try. JSR using some pawn strats to get through this forest. Good job. And Cheeseball.
Fire strats.
Getting ready to do this, and that one spell that we always make fun of. JSR using it in this room. Gets a magic refill, too.
That's what you want. That actually saves a magic refill in this town that they're going to. This is New Kasuto. the thing with this town is you cannot see it. Remember that hammer I told you that has an axe on it? We're going to chop down a tree. Boom. Let's see if Cheese can skip the first encounter. No, she still might be able... Nope, she's just going to eat the encounter and take it. Now, in this town, there's 3 things to get. First, they're going to get the spell called Spell. So, Spell. This,
Why do they call it the spell?
Well, it's just called Spell, and it's a spell that you get that's called Spell, so it's Spell.
But I thought it was the magic word.
Yeah, but you have to spell to get the magic word.
S-P-E-E-L.
See, you did not get the magic word, you misspelled it.
Darn it.
Now, using Spell at the end of the town creates this big ol' long door, and in here they're going to ferry into the magical key. Now, remember I said we was talking about Palace 6 didn't have a lot of keys. Well, now you don't have to worry about picking up any keys at all out of the way in Palace 6 because there are none out of the way.
Yeah, and you're immediately greeted in Palace 6 by a door and without a key nearby.
Yep, so it's a hint to go somewhere else and look for a way to get through. Now, you can ferry through the doors and use your magic pretty conservatively to get through without it, but in the 100% category, there's a lot of locked doors you go through, so you definitely need that magic key, even if you could ferry through doors. So, they're all in the same area at the same time, just different parts of it. Now, they also get their 8th magic container up here. They're missing 1 heart, but the heart will be gotten before they get to Palace 6.
Spoilers?
It's over a 30-year-old game, they didn't take the spoilers. So yeah, remember the magic word, spell, there we go. So now JSR is on his way to get the final heart container. Palace 6 is probably... It's a lengthy palace if you're doing it 100%, because the cross is way out of the way to get, which lets you see invisible enemies later on in the Valley of Death.
By the way, how do you like that pose from xIceblue?
I did not see it, actually. I was watching JSR's encounter skip that he did not get. What did he pose?
He had his sword leaned out over towards the left. Got people giving him a 10.
You know what? I'm going to go up to 11 on that.
You're going to take it up to 11? My goodness.
Yeah. Okay, now, to get into Palace 6, you have to blow your plunger right there in between the rocks, and boom, Palace 6 spawns.
It is the second of the 2 times you actually need to use that flute inside of this game.
You can use it as much as you want, it's the only time it does anything. So Palace 6 is pretty much everything you have learned throughout the rest of the game. It shows you all the enemies in here. You got these Doom Knockers. You're going to blue Iron Knuckles. I mean, you're going to see a lot of things in this palace. Now, this jump right here, you don't have to cast jump there, but it's definitely safer. There's also an invisible pit coming up on the way to cross that we have dubbed in the Zelda 2 community as the Canadian Hole.
Why is it called the Canadian Hole?
Well, because there's a lot of runners that ran this game that's from Canada, and they fell in the hole a lot during the tournament. So,
I'd rather have Canadian bacon than Canadian holes.
Yes, I agree. That would be good, eh? But it's coming up in this next room that JSR is going in. It's after the way to look for it. You see 1 statue, you see 2 statues. After the 3rd statue, look at the bottom. You're jumping from the 2nd tile. That takes you over it. And there you go. If you fall down there, you're going to have a bad time. It's not too bad on the way back, but on the way to this item... Oh, look, a boss fight.
Yes, and this will be the one of 3 times we will actually see a key inside Palace 6.
Now, one thing with Rebanak, you have to be careful. Do not kill him off the right side of the screen. If you do so, the key will not spawn.
And if the key doesn't spawn, you don't move.
No. Nope, you're imprisoned in that 12 by 12 space for the rest of your existence. The only way out is to pause the game and do a save and quit.
Which, by the way, is not legal in this category.
Nope. In a race scenario, we would allow it for that, obviously. But if you do that in a race, you're probably done at that point.
But in the case of this, it would be allowed. But in the case of you trying to PB, yeah, you're done for the day. Thank you for playing. Goodbye, everyone.
Yep. So we got a Rebo fight coming up on prawnzo's side. Much easier to attack 8 now.
Yeah, down in 2 swings of the sword, and there you go.
So yeah, that cross will let us see some invisible enemies later in the game.
And I've been meaning to get Tiamat onto the screen here, but just how close these runners are, the fact that they're in the same dungeon, they haven't had any real missteps, it's just difficult to actually get them to find a room to get Tiamat on.
Yeah, everybody's racing really well right now.
Yeah, this is a really solid showing from these 4 runners, and Tiamat is also doing an awesome job. They're right now in the hidden town. This is also an annoying screen because of those little pointy things that JSR was in there. We're going to see it from the other 3 soon.
Now this screen coming up on JSR's side is one of the mandatory cast of fairy in this palace that you have to do. You have to do it twice.
Which is why you got to keep your magic under great management in this dungeon.
Now, another interesting fact about this room, a couple years ago, Schmitty Games did a fun play-around task of Attack 1 using the left plus right mechanic. He was able to clear that room without using fairy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a spectacle to watch. It's definitely a cool thing.
And this is also, by the way, we should point this out. We mentioned a few of the other differences with the Famicom version. This is another one here, what JSR is up to inside of this dungeon. These are different bosses normally in the Famicom version, right?
Well, no, you still fight Rebanak. The final boss is different of this dungeon.
But also, you face a different boss. You face a boss where that blue iron knuckle was in Palace 5.
Oh yeah, that's you fight Horsehead again. Horsehead wants to play some more, and you totally murder Horsehead.
All right, here's that second cast of Fairy for JSR, about ready to face off against, what is this enemy's name?
This is Barba. We're about to see Barba right here. There's a couple ways to fight Barba. If you hold right as you walk in the... Oh, there's a yak hammer.
Wow! That's awesome!
Yep.
JSR!
It's in the game. But, if you walk in that room and hold right the whole time until the boss music starts, he will always spawn in that position. So, but yeah, the yak hammer, as we call it, is, it's pretty difficult to pull off, and JSR just made it look like Child's Play. So
absolutely.
Yep, there's a way to one-cycle the boss without doing that, and I think prawnzo does know the regular one-cycle. I'm not sure if they will go for the yak hammer or not, but we will see.
All right, prawnzo now against Barba. Yeah, he's not going to do it right here, but almost a one cycle. Just missed it, but quick 2 cycle. All right, xIceblue facing off. Oh, annihilated!
That was perfect.
Let's go, Cheeseball!
See if Cheese can get the one cycle. She has a really awesome derpy Barba emote as well.
Yeah, we're seeing it in chat right now. Goes for the safe stretch, does not get the 1 cycle, misses it by 1. Oh, bad spawn. Has to wait that one out.
Okay, so one thing I've been seeing Cheese has been doing is she's been opening doors with her butt. Let's see. Yep, butt doors.
There we go.
Yep. Yeah, that's how you open doors in Zelda 2. You open doors with your butt. Okay, so now we got the Valley of Death coming up. At the same time, we were seeing the Thunder Spell we got out of Old Kasuto, and those blue MOAs that we see, if you don't have the cross, you couldn't see them. So Valley of Death has a lot of encounter skips you want to hit, because if not, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, and these encounters, those forced encounters are on very bad screens, too.
Yep, casting spell is a very good strat in here. It's very safe. You can do these runes without it, but I don't recommend it. I still, even as long as I've ran this game, I still like using spell strats occasionally.
I'm gonna say JSR before this run was telling me that he was getting nervous because of how little he has actually run this game. He is just blazing through this game right now.
Yeah, he's on a, probably like a 119 pace, which isn't bad for 118, 119 pace, which isn't bad for not really running this game in a while.
Obviously, the world record we haven't mentioned at all, but the world record for this game is what, 114?
No, it's a 113.
113. And there's JSR just making those counter escapes looking really good. Looking Barba making easy work of Barba, making everything's going well for JSR. But the Great Palace lurks ahead. And the Great Palace isn't called the Great Palace because it's just walk in, you save Zelda, and game over. There's a lot to this place.
Yes, it's gigantic. There's a lot of rooms. There's 2 different routes humans can do get through this palace. One requires a damage boost, so I don't recommend it. But the route that you're going to see these runners take are the standard route, unless somebody feels froggy. Now, these are the first enemies you see. Every enemy in here has a nickname. Those are spicy chickens.
That seems spicy.
Yep. The next room, I like to call this one in GP, is the Room of Nothing But Hold Right.
Why is that?
Well, nothing's happening, and you're holding right.
This is the level that kind of gets you off your guard for that one bridge where that gigantic Zot falls down onto your head if you go the wrong way.
Yep, that's the way that the task, or the alternate route to GP would go.
And there's Magic 8 for JSR. That is, what, the last level we're going to see.
Yep, all runners should have 886. Everybody leveled up correctly. We got 2 runners inside GP right now. Ice is about to join them.
And Cheeseball's not that far behind.
Nope.
By the way, that Scorpion Max, by the way, that one that we just saw Cheeseball go next to.
Yeah, that's named after Zelda 2 runner Scorpion Max. Okay, that's the first red Folka, F-O-K-K-A. Probably not the correct pronunciation, but we'll just go with that. But yes, there's red and blue ones, but the blue ones have a special name, especially one of them, and we'll be seeing that one here soon.
I know I have a name for it, but it's not appropriate for the people that are watching Speed Gaming 2, so I'm not going to even use it.
I know which name you mean. Okay, now, coming up after this room for JSR is where we meet our friend, Scott Bicula. Talk about old reference. Oh boy. He will quantum leap you out of existence if you don't do this room right.
Yeah, and that, of course, is shout-outs to Lost Cards fan, who comes up with the oh boy anytime you say that name.
Yep. Let's see if we get through here. Okay, yep, JSR got past Scott. Well played.
Yeah, he's got another one he's got to deal with in just a moment. And you don't want to take too much damage against those things because they can make your life really miserable.
Yes, they hit like a truck, and they give hardly any experience. Like in the Famicom Disk System version, they actually give quite a bit of experience, but they said in this version, now we're going to nerf it.
You should be pretty leveled up at 888 by the time you come into the GP, is exactly what they were thinking. And here we go. This is the second one. Hi.
Oh, that was a nice Scott.
Yeah.
Now, JSR's got some extra lives, so we'll probably see a death abuse.
I was going to make the note of that there, that he's probably just going to set up, take a death real soon. Probably one more room, a couple more rooms away from this.
Yeah, unless he accidentally takes a death here.
Yeah, he does not want to do that, which is why he's taking it safe. There he goes, through that. Now he's going to break open these blocks.
Yep. Now, if you took the alternate route, it would take you above where he broke those blocks, and you do a damage boost up on the wall, walk right and walk left. But, big block, scary,
Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. Growing up as a kid playing that game, or playing this game, the one that was on the bridge that we didn't get to see, and that one there was like, oh my god, and it freaked me out the first time.
There's a little tiny hole you have to hit. Oh boy, what are you doing, JSR? Okay. There you go.
Yeah, a little scary right there, but through it, everyone seems to be doing pretty well inside this GP so far.
Yep, so now we got our buddy... Oh, there's Scott. Scott got an xIcebleue's face.
Oh, xIceblue needs to get through here down to a one little magic or life bar.
So we have Thunderbird here.
Yes, indeed. Look at JSR go. Done with Thunderbird. Now one thing stands in JSR's way.
Yep, he must beat himself. The Shadow Link. You know, because it's your shadow. So yeah, he has to beat himself. To prove you're worthy of the Triforce of Courage. Now, there's a couple strats for this fight, but the most standard strat is to stand in the corner. You'll do a stab, and then when you do a full jump on your way down, stab again. Or you can just crouch stab as well.
And there it is, JSR's done.
Yep, done at a 118.41. Not bad. It's a really good race time. Let's see if we can get Tiamat up there.
Yep, just gonna take a moment there for us to get Tiamat on there.
Okay, so now prawnzo is up there. He's going to try to beat himself now. Yeah, this time that they're getting, sub 80, sub hour 20 is a goal for a lot of runners. So, you know, to get that, I mean, it's not too easy of a time to get. So seeing these runners getting these sub 80 times in a race scenario is definitely a good feeling. I would say I would equal it to the sub 30 in Zelda 1. I mean, that's just how some people feel about this time. All set there. prawnzo with the 119.32. Okay. We got xIceblue and both xIceblue up against T-Bird, but one hit, and we will see a death on xIceblue's side. He's on zombie lunk strats. Good fight. Cheese is up here doing some T-Bird shenanigans. Cheese is having a really good T-Bird here, just a couple more hits. Dodged all the hits, well done. They cast Reflect during that fight, it does shrink your hitbox. xIceblue up against Dark Lunk, let's see if he can do it without getting hit. There we go.
By the way, we get Tiamat now finally on our screen.
Yep. xIceblue done at 120.51, and Cheese. Oh, Tiamat's taking the long way through this room. Wow, so we actually get to see what this room looks like. Yeah, you never want to take this room. You always want to do an encounter skip because it's brutal to get through. But it looks like they struggled with some of the skips in Valley of Death. And Cheese Ball is about done as well, coming in at a 121.16. GG to her as well. Okay, so we got that, and then Tiamat's on their way into GP at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know what happened in Valley of Death there, but they got through it. So, want to see if we can get the
swamp, and then I got 3 full swap encounters on the way out. So that.
Hi, JSR.
Hello.
Hi.
We pulled you up at just the time you were starting to explain everything.
Oh man, how's everyone doing? I hope it was a good race.
It was awesome, and it was kind of hard to get Tiamat on there, but we finally do now have Tiamat as they go through the Great Palace. But what an awesome run here for all 3 of you so far. Yourself, of course, just amazing.
Thank you. I felt like I played pretty well. I knew I had to bring it because these guys have been killing it, and I know they're gonna say they didn't, but they've been killing it. My man XIceblue just PB'd. And
JSR, first of all, GG, sir. First of all, GG. Please go back and watch my entire run and watch the RNG I got everywhere. Everywhere. Like, I left up or downstab, or what is it, Darunia? No. Mido. Yeah, that's the town. I don't know. I got an encounter walking out of there. I got fairy encounters right when I walked on the eastern continent. Every blue Stalfos, and I mean every blue Stalfos, jumped. It was a travesty.
Ice had a rough time, no doubt.
It was a travesty.
But yeah, I knew these guys were going to bring it, so I definitely wanted to be on my A game. I figured if I lost, there was no shame in it. But if I was going to win, I wanted to do my best. And I've been toying with the idea of entering the tournament. I don't know if I'm going to yet or not, but I had a blast tonight. I can't wait for the tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and this was a great race with amazing runners, and I'm just honored to be a part of it, honestly.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, JSR finished first when we got him replaced with Tiamat now on the screen. That Barba was a thing of beauty, both yours and, what was it, xIceblue?
Yeah. Definitely wasn't mine.
Yeah, well,
I had to go for the... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, did anybody keep count on how many 50-50s I got in GP?
I didn't see any of the 50s.
I missed it too.
I was sitting there and I was laughing the whole time, and I was counting like the count. I got 8 birds before I got a jar. I had to go up the elevator and down the elevator 9 times to get a jar.
Oh,
I literally had 0 magic.
Before Scott Beakle, okay.
Yeah. I had 8 chickens before I got a jar.
Oh, you're all set. You're all set for Thanksgiving dinner with chicken then.
Yeah, seriously.
But it was. You did really. Everybody did really well there. But yeah, JSR, your other thoughts?
I was just gonna say I had to go for the jackhammer on Barba. I had to do my girl Cheese proud.
I finally can hear everyone.
Hey, Cheese can hear us.
Hi, Cheese.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, Cheese.
That was
Thanks
really
for the
rough in the beginning.
Thanks for the butt doors, by the way, Cheese. I appreciate
you're very
those.
welcome. That was all for you.
Nice.
I hope everybody. I had chat up, and I saw everybody was appreciating my my new Kasuto pose. So
yeah, that was a pose of beauty.
Yeah, it was a very nice pose. I was pretty ecstatic about it.
I did not notice that anyone else's pose, but yours was beautiful enough that I had to look and notice.
Yeah, don't watch mine. Mine was a fail. I went for it. You got it. That's the thing. As long as you give the effort, sometimes that's all that matters.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so-
I gave the effort for Eco Key, and I jumped too early, and I messed it up.
yeah.
Anyone else go for eco?
Yeah, you had to make up the time for the lack of lava dives that we had in the stream. So xIceblue had to make up for that because there wasn't a lot of lava diving in P4.
Yeah, I didn't get any of my swag. I missed all the beams in P1. I touched the floor really bad in P5. Like, honestly, if anyone else got any swag, I lost. For being honest.
I couldn't go for many lava dives. I died and I got bopped into the lava in P3, so I didn't want to take any. I didn't want to take any deaths.
Oh,
Prawnzo, we had to give you a 0
Just in general, or for something specific?
yes.
for your lava dive.
What's wrong with it?
What was right with it? I mean, your second one.
That's fair. listen. I mean, you saw what happened to me in P3, right? Too. That was the biggest scary moment where I fell into the hole. I didn't have magic to cast jump out. It took me like 20 seconds to get out of there, and then I nearly died in the lava in that block room. I was just, I saw a jar, and I turned around last minute, and I was like, maybe I should get that, and then I just was like 1 pixel probably from falling in the lava.
All right.
I was on the
trade wreck.
last bot. I was on the last bot, and I jumped, and he went
Hold
right.
on. Let's get Tiamat to the finish here. We are going up against Thunderbird for the final time.
Tiamat, just imagine it's a giant spud. You got this, man.
Let's go.
He's got it. He's good.
Prawnzo, did you get the bag in Magic Cave?
I actually did. Surprisingly, that never happens. From
And
what I hear.
also, everybody had attack 4, by the way, leaving Palace 1.
Oh wow!
Even Tiamat?
And Tiamat's done with
Yeah,
the
Nice.
Tiamat had 2, I believe.
GG's, Tiamat.
No,
Jeez.
well, we still got Dark Long, but got past the hard boss.
So, I hear, by the way, that there was an interesting wager in regards to Cheeseball's time and JSR and some costuming.
Oh dear.
I mean, technically, Cheese got a 0.00 according to the restream here.
Whoa. So now I guess that does kind of mean I have to dress. I think I'm gonna have to dress up as Derpy Barba at some point. I think that's in the contract for the race. But, like, real talk, I wanted to give everyone else a chance on the floor. I just wanted to say, as Tiamat finishes up, GG's Tiamat.
There we go.
And GG's.
GG's
all
and
of
Chap,
you.
Tiamat's done.
Yeah. GG's.
GG's.
It was an honor to get to race all you all. I was very, very excited for all of this. And Rick and Cantaloupe, thank you for the commentary. Speed Gaming, thanks for the restream. And I'll let everyone else have the floor. But thanks again, everyone.
Try to get the
I mean,
link.
thank you, JSR, for reaching out and getting this all set up, and thanks to Rick and Cantaloupe for commentating and getting this all set up, and everybody for racing. It's pretty awesome. I had a blast.
Let's
Yeah,
welcome in Tiamat to the conversation, by the way.
Tiamat.
Oh, Tiamat!
Hello.
GG's.
Pretty good time. Like, you're.
I was happy I got attack 4. That was the only positive thing in this whole round.
We all were.
Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on you, and obviously, with everyone being as tight as they were, everyone being in the same palace, we didn't get you on until the very, very end, but we're glad we were able to showcase your great palace run.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm gonna get a link for the people that want speed gaming. I mean, for the people that want or interested in the Z2 tournament, I'm gonna get that into the chat right now.
I was about to say, for sure, like, if you folks out there that are watching this that want to see more Zelda 2 racing, this is just a taste of what the Zelda 2 tournament does every year. The folks that put it on work hard, and it's always a good show, and you're bound to see some cool stuff, some crazy finishes. I certainly recommend, if you guys want to see this kind of action day in and day out, I believe they start in a couple weeks. I know signups go until next week. I'm looking forward to it. It's always one of the highlights of my year. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, and Zelda 2 has been doing this only almost on a yearly basis, and it's been a lot of fun watching as people have continued to grow throughout this thing. As at one point in time, the question was, could we get a sub 115? Now we've gotten even further below that with a sub 114.
Yeah, that's a tough time to get to.
But, we got to see amazing skill from 5 runners actually, on this channel here today. So let's give it up. We have JSR, we have prawnzo, we have TheCheeseball81, we have xIceblue, and we have TMAT37. GG's to all of you.
Yep, and everybody finished. That's a good
Yeah,
race.
GG's everyone.
Yeah, GG's everyone. And thanks again to Rick and Cantaloupe Me and Speed Gaming staff for letting us have some fun on the channel. It was a great time, and it's just fun racing all of our friends. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely special thanks here to JSR for putting this all together and kind of promoting, or at least proposing this to us, and we were glad to take this on. I mean, we don't get a lot of Zelda 2 on our channel, so it's been really, really good to be able to get this on, especially given the fact that the mastermind behind Speed Gaming, one of his origins was Zelda 2.
First time I ever saw Fiesel stream was the Zelda 2 runs, man. That's a throwback. That's a throwback, man.
All right, any closing thoughts about the upcoming tournament? Any closing thoughts about your runs before we wrap things up for the night?
I just want everyone out there to follow all of them. They are fantastic folks, and they all run Zelda 2, and they're all really good at it. And like I said before, it was an honor to get to race them. Like, give it up for everybody in this race, specifically prawnzo, Cheeseball, Tiamat, xIceblue, all of them did fantastic. And to you guys for putting this on, I can't take credit for putting this together. I just hit you up, basically. Like,
you proposed it, so you can take credit for it. Obviously, there were people who helped spin it further ahead, but you're the one who proposed it.
Thank you, JSR.
No, it was it was a cumulative effort, honestly, and if it wasn't for these 4, this wouldn't have happened in many ways. So it's just, yeah, like I said, it was just something I looked forward to all week, and this was a blast.
And you all had great times in this in a showcase race, and that's the thing that really mattered the most.
Just to showcase what this category is, it's literally 100% all things, and everybody showcased it really well. And we saw different techniques from everybody, from the awesome jackhammers to the butt doors. So we saw everything.
Jackhammers, butt doors. We had good dazzles too.
Yeah, Dazzle was pretty good. My reverse return Dazzle was pretty atrocious though.
Yeah, JSR had one encounter. I think he had the best one on the way back.
Which one was that?
The walk back from Reflect Town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
did some dodging there.
I had the setup, but that stupid encounter guide just followed me down, and I couldn't get it to work, so I just took it. But it's okay. I felt like it was a really decent run on my end. There was a couple big mistakes that I made that cost me time, but overall, I'm not mad.
Big mistakes, although by the looks of some people who've never seen this category before, they would not even be able to notice them. Isn't that
I can't
the
wait to watch
beauty of
it back.
speedrunning?
It's funny because as you work hard at a game and you get more adept at it, your expectations of what you're capable of doing go up dramatically as time goes on. But it's easy to forget where we've come from and how hard it took you to get to where you're at. And that's why, like, I was telling all of the runners in this race tonight before this, like, this is going to be great for so many reasons, but we've all earned our way up to where we're at now. And, like, it's easy to forget that when you're grinding for PBs and when you're, trying to do better than you've ever done. As you get really good at these games, sometimes you take a step back and you're just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's what speedrunning does for me. It's just the self improvement. It's not just about going fast in a game. It's like, it's kind of like a microcosm of how I feel about everything in life. Like, you just work hard towards a goal, and eventually you'll make it there, and you'll be very proud of how far you've come.
I don't think any of us could say it any better than the way you have. So I think we'll just go ahead and say here, and leave it at that.
You hear?
Yeah, that's pretty much been like my journey with speedrunning. It's like, it's a journey of like self-improvement and getting times that you're comfortable and you're happy with, and running games that you enjoy, especially ones that have like really, really hot jams. But yeah, it's a journey of self-improvement. The better your runs are, the better your mood will be. You don't want to continue running a game that you dislike. Zelda 1. Yeah.
We've all been there, by the way.
Oh yeah, we have. This is the worst game I've ever played.
Oh, come on, Ice. It's not that bad.
Look, Prawnzo. I don't want to hear it, all right?
Hey,
Zelda 1 is garbage.
Rick, how about we... Rick, how about we do a Z1, Z2 single segment race next time?
Oh dear.
You're on, Prawnzo.
We'll consider that.
You're on,
I'll
Prawnzo.
start my timer at 33 minutes, and then I'll just start Z2.
Oh dear.
We'll just have a blank screen up for xIceblue, and nobody will be the wiser.
No, what's funny is before the race started, my power went out like a couple hours before the race started, and then halfway through the race, my power flickered. So I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And I looked, and luckily everything was fine. But I'm just saying, if we're doing this race, I can't be responsible if my power goes out, y'all. I can't be responsible if my stream just crashes, and I'm just, hey, I got a 28. You guys have to believe me.
Prawnzo, I'll see your Z1, Z2 race, and when you learn Link to the Past next, we'll do a trilogy run.
Oh, that's right. He has to learn Link to the Past now.
All of us will do a trilogy run for speed gaming.
Oh, dear.
How's that sound?
Sure, let's do it. I mean, once I learn it.
That sounds quite evil, and I like it.
Oh,
No, well, a few other guys who might want to jump in that. Maybe even some present company.
Almost akin to back in the day when they used to do that Zelda day-long rando race, or whatever the case may have been. Anyways, let's give it up for these runners one last time. JSR, Prawnzo, xIceblue, the person playing with their timer, Cheeseball, and Tiamat.
Sorry.
GG's, everybody.
I noticed you're trying to manipulate it so that you got that PB, so
Yes.
we had to have that derpy Barbaro costume there for JSR, right?
Right.
There we go. I know you'd see it my way.
Oh dear.
See, look, Rick, all you have to do is move the time that Prawnzo got, move that time over to Cheeseball's box.
I wish I could actually do that, but that's the confines of the boxes that we have here on Speed Gaming. But it wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually, I might have a good idea.
Wait, you could delete Prawnzo's name at the top?
listen, Ice. Let's relax, all right?
We gotta put Cheeseball's name up there, so Cheeseball got the 119, and then JSR has to dress up as Derpy Barba.
Okay, that's fair then. Let's do it, Rick.
How dare you all? I am going to dress up as Derpy Barba, not because of the shenanigans and tomfoolery, but because Cheeseball is hilarious, and you all
There
should
we
follow
go. We got it. There we go.
Hey,
Cheeseball.
Accurate Integras.
Congrats.
This is Salamanders.
Somebody
No,
screenshot. There you go.
Yay.
No, but everybody in this race, they're all amazing streamers. Like, I'm like, y'all need to follow them. Seriously, like, they're great. And I'm looking forward to whatever we end up doing next, because, yeah, y'all kick butt. So
Never mind the fact that the screen name or the file name says woo.
Yeah, that's
Trust
not on
us.
brand. That's not on brand with the Cheeseball.
I mean, I had a Derpy Barba one earlier, so it's like, I guess I can't. You never know. Maybe I was the cheeseball the whole time.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll never know.
There we go.
Actually, Rick knows. Rick knows. He was the one that set this whole thing up. He knows. No shenanigans. How dare you all? But yeah, thanks everyone,
I
and
gotta go hit
have
the button before we screw up the speed gaming system.
have a great night, everybody.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you. Be sure to follow all 5 of these runners. They had a fantastic run through this Zelda 2. Unfortunately, Cantaloupe had to bow out because he had a work call. So give him some love and support, too, for joining me on commentary for this. And let's have it one more time. A GG for all of these runners. And be on the lookout for the Zelda 2 any percent, or rather 100% all keys tournament that's going to be coming up soon. Details on the Zelda 2 Discord. And of course, we've got more Zelda 2 coming up with the Zelda 2 randomizer tournament as part of Speed Gaming Live as well, coming up next month. All right, that's going to do it for us here. Once again, for everyone here, for TMF, for prawnzo, for the Cheeseball, for xIceblue, and now, of course, for JSR and for Cantaloupe Me. I'm Matt Rick saying thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Speed Gaming 2. Good night.